welcome to New Game Who Dis. I got good news, and I got bad news.
Oh no.
Yeah. You want to just get the bad news out of the way?
Yeah.
What if we choose to never hear the bad news?
Then we could just skip the bad news, go right to the good news, but then it's going to linger and eat away at you all night. What was the bad news? Not
if you choose to forget.
Well, don't listen then when I say this.
Okay.
If you don't want to know. Tonight is the last night of New Game Who Dis Call of Cthulhu.
No. That's bad news, I knew, but it's still bad news.
Stinger, yeah. But the good news is we're having so much fun. We're not going to finish this adventure. We're going to have to get the gang back together and play some more.
I didn't even need to listen to the first one.
Yeah, the good news contained the bad news.
Right.
The minute you guys stole a car last week, I'm like, oh, this is going more than 3 eps.
I like a DM who rewards bad behavior.
Want to steal a car? All right. Roll for car stealing. Hard success? All right, you stole a car.
It's funny how stories can sometimes, they can be set up in such a way. I remember a friend of mine years and years ago was just getting into the George R.R. Martin series and was reading A Storm of Swords and thought that it was a trilogy. And was like 600 pages into the 1,200 page book or whatever it is, 1,100 page book. It was like, I have 600 pages left. And there is no chance this book can end or this story can end. It's like you just knew there was so much going on. It couldn't possibly wrap up. And yeah, as a GM, sometimes it's like you get going in one direction. You're like, well, we're never going to get back in time. We need to extend this thing.
The irony of A Song in Ice and Fire is that it will never end.
Right.
Never.
Yeah, it's still never ended and will never end. Yeah.
The book series has yet to be written, and the 8th season never happened.
Which was, Yeah, in this reality. In Crawley, they never saw an 8th season.
And they never will. Are you guys the type that go on his blog and read the unreleased chapters?
No.
Like a little bit here and there.
I don't want to know. I'd rather just wait and see when it's all done. Never. Try and piece it together.
I picked up this past weekend Fire and Blood, which is a novel about the original Aegon the Conqueror. OG Aegon.
Heard good things. Joe turned me on to the novelette. What is
The Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. Have you read that one?
Great.
Is that about Egg? The
Duncan Egg.
Yeah, Duncan Egg. Wait, what? What's his name?
Duncan Egg.
Duncan Egg.
I didn't believe myself.
Dunkin' Donuts.
His name is also Duncan. So there's Duncan, but his short form is Dunk, and it's Dunk and Egg.
And
Very
Egg.
confusing, but
I listened to the audiobooks of them, and they were fantastic. Over too soon. Very short.
Yeah, too short. Oh, it was so good. It felt like being back, being back in like that original small form Game of Thrones. Yeah, totally. Agreed.
I feel like we just spoiled Game of Thrones for Nora. Nora has that face like, what? Game of Thrones? What the hell's that?
I didn't have HBO at the time, and I was just like, I don't have time to commit to all of this.
It's a big commitment.
Now what's your excuse?
I did watch the finale, though, for some reason, with a bunch of people.
I don't understand. The 8th season never happened.
And I couldn't share in people's disappointment, but I witnessed it.
At the watch party? Just sad faces?
Yeah.
What?
My wife just reminded me of a story that I completely forgot. When we were in our old apartment, we had another roommate, and it was the series finale of Lost, and I was really excited to watch it, and I turned it on, and then our roommate walked in at 5 minutes in. There was nothing was being revealed or anything, and nothing that you saw would give anything away. But she was like, "What is this?" I said, "Oh, it's the series finale of Lost," and she was just like, "Oh, well, I can never start it now," and then just stormed into her bedroom. And we were like,
I hate your ex-roommate. She's a caricature.
Man, I would never have that problem because I guarantee you by the time I got to it, I would have completely forgotten what I witnessed.
Everything I had watched.
Shirley wants to fight your ex-roommate. I'm just saying.
Wow, she's crossing space and time. In many different ways. She's going to the Matthew's past.
We're seeing
fictional
we're seeing
future.
Becca's true form now. Like, oh, it's been Shirley this whole time.
Yeah, no,
exactly.
I hide behind my characters constantly. Is that not cool for an adult to do?
Guys should
Becca, have
check
you ever
Shirley's
taken
stat.
have you ever taken boxing classes or kickboxing? Have you ever like gotten into the heavy bag?
I took one, and I also lived with some kung fu teachers many years ago.
Oh, wow.
Multiple
Nice.
kung fu teachers?
Did you live in a karate dojo?
Essentially,
Just say you lived in a dojo.
where I lived when I was 19 is its own 3-hour podcast. Let me just say that shout out to
market.
the Reyes brothers and Captain Nasty, who also lived on our couch. Don't worry about it.
Wow.
I
Were
have
you the
so
punk
many
kid
questions.
that they taught martial arts by making you clean the dojo? Wash
yeah.
the floor.
I already
the
have the
rent. It's
montage
fine.
in my head.
Yes, I can see it.
I mean, just, yeah, put some more weed smoking in and you've got the right idea.
No, wait, but did you learn anything? Did you learn any kung fu? I know kung fu.
There it is.
You know what? I feel like I could really, it would come back if I needed it.
You're disciplined enough to not use it.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
what happens.
Yeah.
That's the first thing they teach you. Only use it when the circumstances call for it.
Oh, yeah,
best
the Reyes
karate.
brothers didn't teach that.
Dude,
Call them out. They might be fans.
my
Just
cook
smoke a joint and
salon
be like, watch me
master,
beat this dude up.
my cook salon master used to be like the nicest looking dude, but like he could just snap you in half, and it was like the most terrifying thing to see, like such a mild-mannered father of 2 little kids just be like, anytime he'd be like, I need somebody to demonstrate how to do this thing, you're always just like, please don't pick me, please don't pick me, please don't pick me. And you're like, fuck.
You're
But you're glad he's
reminding
on
me.
your side, right?
It's gonna hurt.
My mother used to practice her IQ jujitsu on me because my father said he needed his hands to work. So still not over it, apparently.
How's your relationship with your mom now?
Great. Love you, Mom.
That's fine
Matthew's
then.
And it sounds like your dad knew you were never going to do a day of hard work in your life.
He's like, his hands don't matter. All he's going to do is type.
Matthew's father was a puppeteer, by the way.
He's very dexterous.
Small
fingers.
detail we left out.
Yes.
Did he have the glass dome around?
Climate control, yeah.
Matthew, bring me a lemonade.
Back with us tonight on the ones and twos is old Grant Berger. Grant, speaking of martial arts father-in-laws, you've been trying to have your father-in-law beat me up since I've known you. Just because you want to watch it happen.
He is as nice as he is skilled in killing people, sadly. I still don't understand what chi is, and I understand most of the conversations that happen in Cantonese around me are about wanting a grandson to teach Kung Fu to because I am too flabby.
She is life energy.
Yeah, I know that, but like the breathing, the controlling it, the turning it into a punch that could knock your head off stuff, that I always
Right.
get lost. He teaches me about 20 minutes of breathing exercises and then says to practice them for a month, and then I come back. He forgets, then I bring it up, and then he's like, oh, let's start over again. And that's been the last 8 years of my marriage. So, yeah. So if you ever need to learn about Pak Mei, which means gray eyebrow in Cantonese, Kung Fu, come to Mr. Yao. He'll teach you.
He'll teach it.
The only other word you know in Cantonese is flabby. And he's like, why's your dad always pointing at me and saying flabby? That was just a nickname. It means giant man. in Cantonese. Well, Grant, thanks for joining us again. Go ahead and throw up a picture of Mr. Yao tonight. Let the audience that doesn't know him see him in his prime. Just like he looks like Bruce Lee. I'm so excited to play tonight. I think that even though we're not going to finish this story, we got to end big. We've had a bunch of Cliffies. I want another big one tonight. And I really don't know where this story is going to go. You guys have taken... Even though you kind of went a little to the right, you've taken a very linear approach. You've hit your roles enough so that you were like, we see some tracks. Let's follow the tracks. We go to the restaurant. Oh, we found a name. We go to the hotel. He's not there. Maybe we do this. Then it was towards the end of the episode, things started to fall apart a little. Once you start splitting the party, that's when you know things get wild. So I'm
I've
excited
never
to jump
not
in.
split the party. Is this
Is that your
bad?
jam?
I like to split a party.
That's when
break
fun
up a
things
party.
happen.
That's not wrong. If that's wrong, I don't want to be right.
Exactly.
No, but seriously, I'm of the opinion if you are playing a tabletop RPG that's based around investigation, it's much more efficient. You know, you split the party, kill two birds with one stone, you get a bunch of conversations done all at the same time, bing, bang, boom, you gather all the evidence. You're done.
Yeah.
It's faster.
And
And you
why
just got to
you sold
assume that there's no
cars. No.
gunfights.
Yeah, if two of you run up against a Shoggoth, so be it. Well, the other two are sipping lemonade down at the beach. Well, we didn't find anything here today. Meanwhile, wonder how the other two are doing. Before we jump in, this is normally the part of the show on the third episode of New Game Who Dis when we would announce next week's game and cast, and we were all ready to do so, but we've been talking with a particular publisher, and they raised some interesting questions to us. We were like, well, that sounds interesting. We weren't thinking about that. What if we did this? And they said, well, what about this? And so we're going to put things to the side. We had something planned that may or may not happen. So stay tuned to social media all week to find out what game we'll be playing and what the cast is, because we're not 100% sure. We had a plan that's going to eventually happen, pivoted now, but it might be something completely different next Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on Twitch.
Yeah,
excited?
well, it sounds weird, but it is really good news. Deep down.
Really good news.
Really
yeah.
fun news because the publisher was like, we should do something bigger. So that's cool. And
we
when
were
you
like,
get that kind of response.
go
I was
on.
like,
Intriguing.
go on. But before we move on to any other games or jump
Yes.
back into this fantasy, it's always important to thank our friends at Chaosium for supporting us and letting us do this and letting us enjoy their wonderful game and just writing and publishing such a wonderful game for everybody to enjoy, which is why they wanted to give away some starter sets. Woo! We got some starter sets here, physical starter sets that we're giving away tonight to 3 lucky winners. The actual physical starter sets will be for US only, but you can still enter the contest if you're international, and they will get you a digital copy. They're just cool like that. So Brennan's going to drop a link in chat. Keep an eye out in our chat for the link to the giveaway. Go there, enter your name, enter the contest, and then we'll draw the winners somewhere around 10 o'clock, in that area as we get to the end of the show, and we'll put it up in chat. Brennan will reach out to you, get your email, get your address, all that good stuff, and we'll ship it off to you. So thank you again, Chaosium. You guys are awesome. This is awesome, and I'm excited to get it out to some lucky viewers. If you're not lucky enough to get it, though, and if you want something besides the starter set, because maybe you're a little bit more advanced, we also have a discount code to the entire store over at Chaosium. Head over to chaosium.com. They got a ton of stuff. It's not only Call of Cthulhu. You could a bunch of different options. You can, I'm getting like hypnotized by these guys. Head over there. Anything that you get on the store, use the promo code GlassCannon at checkout. 2 N's. GlassCannon at checkout, and you can get 10% off your order. Anything you want. So if you don't get the starter set or you don't need the starter set, feel free to get that discount on us. And it helps us out too, because it says, hey, these guys over at Glass Cannon are helping Chaosium, and everybody's sort of working together to spread gaming. So use that discount code and spread the love.
Yeah. And if you don't win, you're a damn fool if you don't buy this, because this game is fantastic. I think we've even turned Joe into a believer.
Yeah, it's a very, very good game.
We got him.
It's such a good game.
Even though he doesn't know what a 1920s accent's supposed to sound like.
Nope, not at all.
Still love the game.
Just throwing it out there. Just going to keep pretending I'm in It's a Wonderful Life. That's it. That's all I got.
He's all heart. He's all heart. Thank you once again. Thank you once again to Nora and Becca. Be sure to give them a follow at Neurological, at the Becca Scott. And I've seen in the past week, I think combined you both streamed somewhere in the area of 50 hours of content.
Not wrong.
You work very hard.
Is it work when you're just playing games?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it's still
It's exhausting.
but it's still fun.
But yeah, it seems like they have streams every 3 hours, 7 days a week. So be sure to follow them and watch what they do, because they're amazing. And thank you for gracing us with your presence. We look forward to having you back.
Yes.
My pleasure.
But now we're going to climb back into the 1930s. We're going to dust off our blazers and go back in time to a simpler time in many ways, and a dark and more complicated time in others. I'll set the scene for you, get you back in the zone. In the darkness, you hear that sound, that beautiful sound of the crack of a bat, like pop. But instead of a crowd cheering, after you hear that sound, you hear a crowd booing. Boo! Massive amount of people booing. And from that sound, lights fade up on an aerial view of Fenway Park. It's full to the rafters with fans mostly jeering a home run as a player the size of an ant just trots around the bases slowly. Boston, Mass, 12 years ago. We cut in closer and watch the player making his way around third. He blows a kiss to the pitcher, and the pitcher makes a gesture to his head as if to say, the next one is coming at your dome. From there, we cut to the press box and the home announce team. And with that home run by Goose Goslin, the visiting St. Louis Cardinals go up 3-1 against the Red Sox in the bottom of the 7th. Oh, yeah, looks like the skipper is coming out, and yes, he's motioning to the bullpen. We've got a pitching change coming up here. While we wait for that, in the meantime, let's hear a word from our sponsor, Moxie. Panning slowly away from the announce team, we close in on a younger, healthier-looking Preston Tippett leaning back in his chair in the press box. And he's staring daggers down onto the field, just following his eyes. And he's watching Goose Goslin walk towards the dugout as he's greeted warmly by his teammates. The voice of a woman pulls Preston out of his reverie. Excuse me, is someone sitting here?
No, I think he left.
Oh, I thought so. There's too much smoke down the other end. I was hoping a seat would open up down here. She settles in and gets comfortable. She's got a notepad like he does. What paper do you write for?
Lawrence Daily Eagle. Preston Tippett. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Well, nice to meet you, Mr. Tippett. I'm Agatha Priestley. I cover sports for the Crawley Examiner.
Crawley? That's, that outside Arkham, right? Yeah. I've heard good things.
Oh, it's a lovely little town. All the necessities of a big city with small town grace. You should visit, as long as you're not looking for employment as a Red Sox beat writer. They share a little laugh as their attention is drawn back down towards the field. A new pitcher comes in and on his first pitch, boom, gives up another home run. Agatha and Preston just shake their heads in disgust and start scribbling in their notebook. Preston turns to look at Agatha.
If you don't mind me asking, how'd you get into sports writing? It's not every day you see a woman here in the press box.
Well, Mr. Tippett, hopefully that won't always be the case. I've always loved baseball. My parents would take me to see the Boston Braves when I was a little girl. Back then we called them the Bean Eaters. And I've just have been in love with the sport ever since and the team, and it was always a dream of mine to cover the Red Sox. My husband's actually a journalist as well for the Examiner, and he showed some of my writing samples to the editor, and here we are.
Your husband's a reporter too. What does he write?
Well, he covers local news for the most part. He grew up in Crawley. He loves that stuff. I don't know, lately he's been a bit more into what he calls investigative journalism. He has a wild imagination, my husband. I told him he should write novels instead of newspaper reports. The sound of another ball being crushed to left field, and we watch as it bounces off the scoreboard. It's 1919. There was no green monster yet. Clanks off. People are just walking out of the stadium in disgust. Agatha's like, well, that's enough to me. I've got a long drive back. I'll listen to the rest on the radio. It was a pleasure meeting you, Mr. Tippett. Preston stands up.
Oh, the pleasure was all mine, of course, and it's Preston, please.
Well, remember, Preston, if you're ever looking for a place to escape to, you should come to Crawley.
I might just do that.
They both smile, and Preston watches her as she walks away out of the press box. And from there, we come back to the morgue. The morgue of Bentham Hospital, where Preston and Penelope Peachy Keen broke in.
It was Peachy's idea, I tell you.
Yeah, but you had the fast hands to get us in there.
I do what I can.
You stole a car earlier in the day with your cohorts. Times are tough. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Your investigation has taken you now to the morgue. Let's take a step back even further. How did we get here? 2 children went missing from your shanty town, your Hooverville. Esther Friend and Billy Spritzer. Spritzer? That doesn't sound right.
That's
Spitzer?
right.
Spitzer.
Yes.
Spitzer or Spritzer?
Spritzer.
It's Spitzer. But it's,
White wine spritzer.
he's an orphan. Who knows what his real name is? He doesn't. They went missing. Meanwhile, one of the women in camp, Nancy Carver, claims she saw faceless men. There's always these rumors about these faceless men that come around. They came to camp that night, and one of them pulled a ventriloquist dummy out. The dummy let out this horrifying song that paralyzed her. Next thing they know, kids are gone. Meanwhile, there's also a wasting disease going around camp, one that has now claimed the life of Leo Victoria's closest confidant and former dance partner, Albertine Ricks. So we started last session with you guys going around the camp and trying to figure out, like, where are the kids? What's going on? What's happening with Albertine Ricks is a sort of a side story just for Leo and Dr. Coombs, who has been treating her. You find some prints outside of Maureen Friend's tent, prints that are frozen in the cold November ground. You follow them all the way to the road where you see car skid marks leading in the direction away from Crawley. You know the only thing up there is the Blue Star bar and restaurant, bar that Penelope used to maybe sling some drinks out. You're like, why don't we go talk to Ida, see if she saw anything? You go there, and like everywhere in town, she's like, you can't be here right now. You're starting to disturb some of the customers because you kind of look like bums. She's like, meet me around back. She does what she can for the camp. You talk to her, and she says, well, you know what, come to mention it. Right around 2 a.m. last night, 1:45, I did see a car drive by, and it's a car that really jumped out at me because it's a fancy car that only person in town I know that drives a car like that is a guy named Roscoe Malloy. Roscoe Malloy rings a bell. There's a guy in camp named Thomas Dolan that used to work with or work for Roscoe. You go back and talk to Tom, come to find out this guy Roscoe is just one of his laborers. But when the Depression hit, Dolan lost all of his factories. Meanwhile, former laborer, good worker, as far as anyone can tell, Roscoe Malloy has become a bit of a magnate around town. You find out he has a room at the Grand Crawley Hotel. You go there to try and ask him, hey, where were you on the night of last night? And you can't. Where were you on the night of last night? What? He talks like that. You can't.
So long ago.
You can't get a hold of him. They won't talk to him. You don't know if he's upstairs or not there, but they basically tell you he's busy, and then you find out that he's leaving. He's moving. He's moving to Cape Cod to oversee an operation there, or at least that's what they tell you. Maybe that's all they know. Maybe it's the truth. At a certain point, you're like, all right, we're not really figuring out anything here. We're not going to follow this guy to Cape Cod, or the kids' lives may be at stake. Why don't we go over to the hospital? You get to the hospital, you get the same cold shoulder from the nurse that's there. And she's like, I'm sorry, I can't help you. You got to get out of here. I'm going to call the cops. And then you speak with Dr. Cavendish, who took over for Dr. Coombs, who used to be the director of the hospital. And he is standoffish, like, I can't help you. You finally convince him. He's like, all right, meet me in the back tonight and we can talk further. You meet with him after his shift ends in the back of the hotel, and you're able to convince him people are really sick. One of my closest friends, says Leo, is about to die. Will you please come? Feeling the obligation to his Hippocratic oath, he follows you to the camp. But Penelope and Preston stay back. I think you slipped a king of diamonds in the door.
King of diamonds.
Just as it was closing. You sneak into the morgue. You both roll hard successes on spot hiddens. Thankfully, you don't find bodies of the children, but you do find a body that has the same signs of decay as Albertine Ricks. On the foot, a tag, H. Priestley. What do you do next?
Go. Man, Nora, what do you do?
Do you know who this guy is? Have you ever heard of him before?
Yeah, Preston stands there for a second. Just like looks at the tag and his eyes widen. All of a sudden he flashes back to this brief, fleeting conversation. To this, with this woman at the press box in Fenway Park. He's just, the name stands out. He doesn't know anyone else. He's never heard that name Priestley before. And he thinks, no, couldn't be. A reporter in here? Why? He's trying to remember the conversation. What did she say? He wrote. He's like talking to himself. Investigative journalism. Trying to bring down the big guys. Piss off the wrong person, I'll take you out. Mumbling to himself like a crazy person, he stops, turns, and looks at you.
She has her shotgun drawn.
Yes. No, I'm all right. I'm all right. I haven't gotten me
you're
yet.
talking really funny right now.
Sorry.
I put the gun down.
Look, I don't know. I can't prove I know who it is, but I think I might know who it is, and there's a chance here that it's a reporter. Somebody who might have been digging a little too deep and asking questions he wasn't supposed to.
Well, you think this thing might be like done on purpose? Like it's not just a thing you get sick with, like a cold?
Yeah, I didn't even think that when I woke up this morning, but hearing them talk about it in camp about the doctors and everything, and I was just like, they're just going on because they don't want to believe that these kind of things happen. But like, it doesn't make any sense, right? I mean, the doctor in here is so scared. He's basically telling us that he can't be around us. He can't talk to us. He's looking frightened, like someone's gotten I wish I had a good slang for this. Somebody's putting the press on him, and he can't do what he wants to do.
Yeah, he's sitting there acting like he didn't know nothing about nothing.
Right.
Well, he knew this whole time because he was right down here.
Yeah, he knew this whole time, and he's probably doing something to give the people this disease. And if you can just...
Well, you think the doctors are giving people this?
Well, I think they might be. If you got a reporter that's around here asking questions he's not supposed to, it's a little coincidental, don't you think? That you can just all of a sudden get the disease? That's not a coincidence. Somebody gave it to him, and they can just give it to whoever they want to.
Well, how do we find out? Do you think there's a way we could find out if what this Priestley guy knew?
Oh, that's
Seeing as how he was snooping around here anyway.
Look, he worked at the Crawley Examiner, right? If there's any way we could get over there, maybe we could ask somebody what he was working on. If they knew anybody he interviewed or people he might have mentioned he was going to see. I don't know.
All right,
That could be a good lead.
I think you're right, but we have to at least be a little more careful about this now, seeing as how this is all foul play, it looks like.
I know. And it really ticks me off because it's not like we're just going to be able to walk in there. They're not going to let us walk in. It's how they treat everyone out here. It's bad enough that we got to deal with these, not being able to take a shower, wear clean clothes, or go into these places. They got to give us a disease. They got to go out of their way to do this to us.
Yeah, but Priestley, he wasn't living where we was living.
No, I know what I'm saying is I don't know if we can even get into the paper. I don't even know if they'll let us in to talk to anybody.
Well, maybe we could sneak in.
You're very good at that,
I try, although you helped. You did, you got us in here.
It's not a bad idea. The old King of Diamonds. She hasn't failed me yet. He hasn't failed me yet.
It's always a she, it's all right.
My trusty King of Diamonds. She's the king, I tell you. And we don't find anything else of interest, right? Like we can open a few of these.
Yeah,
Did they have freezers? Who knows?
I said that they were the Law and Order slabs because that was cool. But there's some file cabinets and stuff around. But you searched all of the bodies, and this one jumped out at you.
Is there any paperwork? I
any
have a high
medical
accounting
records?
skill. Is there any way I could like look somewhere to like look in a file real quick to see if I could find the name Priestley on something where maybe there's a cause of death or a death certificate or
Yeah, autopsy,
I don't know. They
medical
keep those
records,
things in the
anything.
morgue, but like anything,
Yeah,
any
give me,
report on the autopsy or
Give me an accounting roll. I'm not 100% sure if that's the right skill, but if Penelope, you want to do a spot hidden, accounting
Yeah.
sounds cool.
yeah. I mean, I also have library use. To me, it's just like looking stuff up. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
You know
It's
What?
like
I like library use for this better than accounting.
For both of us, or actually, I don't have library use.
Yeah, for you, roll a spot hidden.
Okay.
Because you're both sitting there, and it's just, he probably knows the better way to go about it, and you might be a little bit more rough looking through the paperwork.
he's just like looking around the room. He's like, this is probably where they keep this. He's got a 70 in library use. He's just like, he knows how to like get into a room and get what he needs quick and get out.
Oh, this is what I'll say. Give me a regular success for you and a hard success for Penelope.
Oh, well, I rolled, I had a 60 and I rolled a 34, so I didn't get a hard success.
Just missed the hard success. So Penelope's
Spin
looking
for
and
luck.
nothing.
Wait a minute.
Wait
a minute.
It's close enough that I
something
think
here.
I can spend some
There's
luck
something
on
here.
that.
And he pulls out a file. I got a 51 under 70.
51 under 70. Penelope, did you want to burn some luck?
I will burn some luck. Let's do this.
You're so close.
4 points of luck on this. All
You're
right.
an evil man, LaValle.
I think you burned one last week, too.
I did. It was worth it.
Burn the luck.
That's not terrifying at all.
You do find some information. His name was Harold Priestley. He was 57 years old when he passed.
That was it.
He was married to a woman named Agatha Priestley, who died about a year before he did.
Oh, no.
And they were both formerly reporters at the Crawley Examiner, but not at the times of their death. They were unemployed.
Oh. So maybe he was like us. You see, this is him. I'm telling you. I met her. I wonder how she died. Wonder if she died of it, too.
Do you think there's any way that we'd be able to find anything he was working on? Any leads that he might have had?
Could I roll an intelligence check to see, like, as a journalist, if he was unemployed, if there's any way to find out, like, if this guy was what he was working on, or if it's just a dead end?
Yeah, roll.
Any, like a place that we can go?
I remembered reading something. I'm pretty sure in the book that was like intelligence checks like can be used to determine if your character can sense if this is like something that will yield results or not. Like if you're stumped as a player.
Yeah, it's like you can get a clue, I think is what it is.
Yeah,
so, go
something
ahead and
like
roll it and see what comes up. Where you chose reporter as your occupation, you're going to have a little bit more insight into this. So
Yeah.
go ahead and give me an intelligence roll.
Certainly more than Joe.
Certainly more than a commoner like yourself, Joe.
Right. That is a hard success. 27 under 70.
Okay. I'm going to say that you came into town. Who knows why you ended up in Crawley? Maybe it had something to do with that conversation with Agatha and you didn't even know, or maybe it was always on your mind. But you came into town, and maybe when you were looking for work, you showed up at the Crawley Examiner and be like, you guys need a sports writer? Didn't see Agatha. Didn't know that she no longer worked there. Didn't know that maybe she was dead at the time. But they turned you away. They've shut down the sports section. The editor there, his name is Norman Brunswick. You met him, had a meeting with him. He was curt to the point, apologized, but he just didn't have any work for you. You would know that most newspapers have their own morgue. It's not like a hospital morgue, but it's a place where like all old articles and old research would be stored. And there's no reason to think the Crawley Examiner wouldn't have that as well. And you do have a contact there. I don't know if he ever remember you, but you would think that, yeah, there's a chance that Priestley's research or research into anything in the town could very well be at the Crawley Examiner.
Okay. So, you know what? Let me rethink that then and not take such a, they won't let us in. Like, I did an interview there once. There's a guy named Norm there. He was a nice guy. He was a good guy. He seemed like it anyway. And maybe he'll believe me. Maybe he'll believe that it's important he lets us in just for a conversation. And if he can give us access to these old files, and I don't know if it has something to do with the death of his own reporter, I think he'd be interested. I mean, hell, it'll sell papers, right?
Well, maybe, but I hope you're right. Maybe we can go in there, or if you... Maybe you're researching some story that went cold that's unrelated so that it's not, so suspicious. But I'll let you be the judge of that because you know this guy and I don't. But I just think it's a really dangerous thing to go about. What if we become suspicious going around town, asking all these questions that are getting people killed?
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying, I do. But look, here's what I think. I think they're targeting where we live anyway. I think they want all of us dead. I don't think it really matters that we're onto this thing now, and if we don't find out who's doing it, I think we're going to be dead regardless. Now, that said, I also think that it's hard to lie to a newspaper man, I'll tell you that. He's gonna sniff it out, I'm telling you. And if I try to bullshit him, I don't know if he'll let us in.
I will. I'm going to follow your lead on this one, because I think you're right in that we got nothing to lose. I think this Priestley guy, maybe he just knew too much, that he wasn't the one being targeted to begin with. But maybe that he was just...
Oh, go ahead.
Maybe he just found something he wasn't supposed to.
As Penelope says that, you see a flashlight kind of going back and forth near a window that, looks into the morgue. Flashlight goes back and forth.
Squat down.
And from there we cut back to the Hooverville, where Shirley and Leo and Dr. Cavendish, the remains of Albertine Ricks, and a very changed Dr. Coombs stand. When Shirley and Leo came back, Dr. Coombs kind of haphazardly told Leo that Albertine passed. And that after she passed, he knew she was deceased, but her stomach was still moving as if she was breathing. Something didn't add up, so he performed an autopsy. He cut her open, and when he did, he saw something he had never seen before. There were these small sacs, I think I said the size of a thumbnail, lodged in her abdomen, full of a yellow fluid with things moving around inside. As he tried to investigate further, the sacs all almost simultaneously burst, and the things inside scurried away. And at that moment, he lost time and found himself outside of the medical shack on the ground, feeling horribly, horribly sick. He looks terrible. Dr. Cavendish, standing right next to the two of you, has seen all of this. As he relayed the story, what do you two do?
Is there a knife anywhere in my sight that I could grab at this moment? I don't trust Coombs. I'm giving him the side eye.
Yeah, you see that there are surgical instruments laying on a table nearby.
I want to grab the biggest one. It may not be the sharpest, but the biggest. And I want to tell Cavendish, Coombs, he's going to check you out. You get on that table with the dusty body.
Coombs is like, check me out. Why? I probably just have a little cold. I haven't eaten much. I've been staying up with Albertine, trying to comfort her as best I can. I'm probably just a little under the weather. I don't need his looking after me.
I grew up with 5 brothers, and I think I know a thing about contagious infections. Leo, I turned to Leo. Leo, I don't think Coombs is the same Coombs we left this morning.
What? Leo is just totally, he's like staring at Albertine's remains and just in total shock. She's been torn open, like dusty, it's like crumbled to dust. And he's like, I'm sure. Oh God. What do you mean? What do you mean he's not the same?
I slap Leo across the face. Snap out of it, man. She's gone. I'm sorry, but she's gone.
She was such a beautiful dancer. You should have seen her on point. It was just.
Can I roll to see how hard I slap him?
Yeah.
Pretty hard.
Wheels around.
That slap has caused me to move through all 5 stages of grief, and now I'm ready to get back into the adventure.
Unfortunately,
no.
you both have stared into the remains of Albertine Ricks, and what you see is horrifying. Both of you give me a sanity check.
Sanity checks. 20, even. Under, what's my sanity? 39. I'm okay.
Wait a minute. I slapped myself across the face. It's not working! I failed.
Shirley, speak to me. What should I do?
Dot. I don't know.
Shirley takes 3 points of sanity loss.
3?
Wait, she
points.
failed? Well, that was a success.
No.
Actually, wait, no, you would have to, now you have to roll the intelligence check to see if you take the damage, right?
So I do take the damage. If it's more than 5, I roll intelligence to see whether I go temporarily
If you go
insane.
it's temporary insanity.
That's right. Yeah, I was hoping Matthew would have failed it harder last week. Yes, you take 3 points of sanity damage, but that does not put you over the threshold to go temporarily insane.
I
just
grab a glass
kind
of water and throw it in Shirley's face.
It lands on Albertine and she melts. Whoa! Roll another sanity check.
I put one hand on your shoulder. Thanks, friend. I appreciate that. Okay. Turn on Coombs again. Look,
Get on the table.
get on that wet table.
Cavendish is like, Coombs, please. I know you and I have a difficult relationship where I have your job now, but if you're sick, it's my duty to help you. And he's like, all right, I mean, I think I'm fine, but all right. And he lays on the table. Do you instruct Cavendish to do anything, or you just let him do his thing?
I gesture with whatever makeshift weapon I found. Do the doctoring.
It's a giant set of forceps. It's oversized, comical set of forceps. And he's like, all right, I'll take a look at him. And he pulls out a little pen light, looks in his eyes. He's kind of muttering to himself. This isn't good. This isn't good. And I've seen this before. This isn't right. This isn't right. They must know about this. They must be involved. And that's why they don't let us treat you.
Who's they?
He whips around, realizing he was kind of talking aloud to himself. The hospital is under strict instruction not to treat anyone from the Hooverville. Just by sneaking these supplies that I have to Coombs over the years, if they ever find out, I'd be fired, or even worse. If they knew I was here, I'd be finished. But what's right is right. I can't stay quiet anymore about this.
Well, good on you, Cavendish, but what kind of sick people would take those struggling the most in this world and tell them nobody can help them? That's just the lowest of the low.
Well, listen, I don't know all the facts, but I know that what's happening to Coombs, what happened to that poor woman, has happened before and will happen again. I don't have any. Go ahead.
Cavendish, and I take the forceps and I'm just gonna clip onto the front of his lab coat in an intimidating manner. I need to know a name. I need to know who you think is giving the hospital orders that they're giving to you.
I don't know. I don't know any names. I don't have any direct contact with them. But there is a group of people that own the hospital. Hell, they own most of Crawley, from what I understand, and I've only heard them referred to as the Midas Circle.
Like the gold guy?
Yeah, like they have the golden touch, I guess. Listen, this might all be rumors, might all not even be true. I don't want to implicate anyone, but I know there is something bad going on. When the stock market crashed and the world fell apart, not everyone suffered. Most people ended up in places like yours. Some people like myself, we've been able to hold on tenuously to some semblance of the status quo, but then there are others that have seemed to rise up amongst the ashes of civilization. And this is happening all over. This isn't unique to Crawley. This happens everywhere, all around the world. Read the papers. I'm sure you've heard the expression, the rich get richer.
No, I've never heard that expression before.
No,
Well,
that's new.
it's a very popular expression.
What does it mean exactly?
I've
it
never heard
means-
it.
I'm of the understanding that it means rich people tend to only get richer, but I'm not. I don't know colloquialisms. I'm a doctor.
But they're already rich.
They're already rich.
I know, it doesn't make sense.
language.
I'm just a doctor. I don't understand the vagaries of idioms.
We need someone with a
referring to rich
mastery of
food?
language.
Yes, we should stop right now. Anyone? He goes out to the camp. Does anyone understand the phrase? The rich get richer. People are coming out blurry-eyed from their tents. What?
They don't ask them. They're never gonna have heard of it.
He comes back in.
It's
No one knows.
entirely new.
No one knows. No one understands the phrase. But here's the thing. In Crawley,
No one knows.
I asked the whole camp.
That's the whole camp. No one knows.
This Midas circle you speak of.
Very
Do they meet
sincerely.
anywhere? I mean, you've
Well,
got to
listen,
know an administrator.
it's
I'll show
just
up at their house.
It's just
And
a
I
rumor.
will.
It's just a rumor, Miss Cisco.
Who do you receive your instructions from?
It's handed down to me. Sometimes it's just letters, but people who don't follow the letters end up losing their job. Listen, I don't want to get anyone in trouble, but I get the sense that this is all connected. These people, if they do exist, this Midas circle, they have a stranglehold on the town, and it seems that as if they delight in the suffering of others, if it means fattening the lining of their own pockets. No one knows who they are, I don't think. I've asked, and I got to a point where I realized I should just stop asking. We can't just go around implicating every rich person in town, though. I'm sure not everyone is a part of this, if this even exists. But something is rotten, and I can no longer stay silent. I've taken an oath to protect, to do no harm. But something must be done. Have you been to the police to tell them about the children?
Police don't take kindly to anyone from the camp, as you may have noticed from you and your nurse's behavior when we attended your hospital. But you know what? That thing you said about not all rich people are involved, I disagree. Cause this new phrase of yours, the rich get
Rich get richer.
richer.
Yes.
I think I'm gonna look for the next rich fool I can find and teach him a thing or two about what we do with patsies.
Listen, this, I don't want to start a manhunt against every successful person in town. Odds are they're not all a part of this, but maybe they are. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't even be talking. And like, I'm sure they treat you poorly at the police station, just like our nurses treated you poorly earlier today, but there might be one good cop there.
And how
Someone.
about you come with us? Look to Leo, huh?
I don't know what I could do to be a part of this. If I get seen with you and my cover is blown and this thing is real, then I'm no good to you. If I'm no longer connected to this, at least at the hospital, I can help. I tried to help. There was a patient that came in not too long ago, suffering, just like Miss Ricks here. And I was told not to treat him.
What was his name?
Priestley. Harold Priestley. I think he was a reporter for the Examiner, but he was fired or something. His wife was a reporter as well, and she passed. They found her, though. They found her body. She was murdered, I think.
Murder?
Murder.
Yeah, it was all a horrible circumstance, but this is one of those things that made me feel like I should step in. They brought Priestley to me, and I was ordered not to treat him. And then I gave in. I gave in because of my oath. And I said, I'll just sneak him around back, and I'll bring him in and do what I can. Well, he was unsavable. He looked worse than your friend here.
What's going to happen to Dr. Coombs?
He looks over at Coombs. I would expect the worst. Unless we can figure out what's happening. Get to the bottom of this and stop it. Maybe it has something to do with these children that were taken. Maybe not. But you need someone on your side who's more powerful than I am.
Yes.
The rich get richer.
Richer.
As they
That's
say.
right.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
you know what we need? A
Yes.
sample. Coombs,
Sample.
bite down on this, and I put my forceps one end in his mouth. Cav, cut him open. You gotta cut him open, Cav.
I
We
can't-
gotta
I
get a
can't-
sample.
I can't. I don't have a sedative or any type of numbing agent. It would kill him. I can't. I could bring him back to the hospital. I don't know, what am I getting myself into? And now you see
Cav.
the doctor is starting to lose it a little.
Can I try and intimidate him to get him to cut this guy open and get me a sample of these weird leathery sacks that may be inside him now?
Roll. That's going to be a hard intimidate because he knows there's a chance he could kill him if he fails.
What if I draw my gun and point it at his head?
Well, that would be a bonus die, but also very frightening.
I need the bonus die. I succeeded, but not a hard success.
All right, gun at his head. He turns on you.
Do what she says, Doc. Do what she says.
Nope.
He doesn't.
All right, so Shirley's got forceps in hand. You draw the gun and you look at him, and then both of you look at each other and realize, what are we doing? We're no better than these monsters that took the children. And so, Leo, your hand goes down.
I mean, I think we're a little better.
The rich
Sorry,
get
Coombs.
richer.
The rich get richer.
Get richer.
Cavendish is like,
Is it about a guy named Richard?
it might be. I will ask around as to the etymology of the phrase, but listen, I understand you are upset, scared, afraid. I'm not a parent, but I can imagine what it is to have children go missing, children that you're close to see your loved ones pass. I may have built up a tolerance to death, but I have no tolerance for evil.
You're a good man, Doc.
Sorry about the whole gun in your face thing.
Yeah, and the forceps and the...
It's all right. It's all right. These are trying times, and I understand the strain you are under. I will take Dr. Coombs back to my home and treat him there. If I bring him to the hospital, it's going to shine a light on the Hooverville. It's going to shine a light on me. I will take Coombs.
What about Albertine?
He looks at what remains of her, and he's like,
Just a pile of dust underneath Coombs
Would you let it go, dude?
with some eyeballs.
what about Albertine? Maybe we could save her. There's just a pile where she used to be.
Tell me we could save her, Doc.
Do what you can, Doc.
You
Do what
lift
you
her up,
can.
look! And she's just slipping through your fingers.
She's a beautiful dancer.
He puts his hand on your shoulder. I'm sorry for your loss. Come on, Coombs. And he lifts Dr. Coombs up and kind of walks him in the direction of his car. As he does so, what do you think? Do you think Penelope and Preston snuck out of there and made their way back to the camp?
Yeah, they come screeching
Yeah.
into the camp in another stolen car.
In a second. Like, do a quick turn.
I think
Do a
we're
couple
sitting
donuts.
outside the medical
Yeah.
tent.
Preston hops out, throws the keys at Leo. He's like, "Park it wherever you want, buddy."
Meanwhile, I've been talking to Leo like, so you're in love with Albertine, but she just let you watch her dance?
No,
Am I getting that right?
it was never romantic between us, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, but like that was her choice, or
Let's just
that's
say
the vibe I'm getting. Real friend zoney.
In so many words, she's not my genre of musical.
I snapped the forceps. Get it? Gotcha.
The rich get richer.
Richer.
You understand.
Penelope and Preston join you.
All right, everyone. We went down to the morgue and we saw this guy with a toe tag, and he had that same crumbly disease that we've been looking around for. That we've been looking around for. And he just crumbled the dust, and then we found his records, and then we found out. Tell him, Preston. We found out that he was also another reporter, and he was too close to this thing. He was too close, and this thing is not natural. It's not natural.
Everything
Did he
she
have
said.
a wife named, what, Leo? Was it Agatha?
Agatha.
You knew him?
Yeah, how'd you know about
Dr.
that?
Cav did. He may have turned to crumbles, but she kicked the bucket by eating some lead, if you know what I mean.
That's the saying.
Maybe she was
Mighted?
moited. Yeah, she was loud.
Yeah. You gotta understand, when we say she was murdered, we're just saying it was just, truly a surprising thing. We're saying wow about her death, which
It wasn't a murder. She was murdered.
exactly.
But like,
Yeah, but do they know who did it?
murder.
Did they ever solve it? Did the cops get him?
Not that I know of. Another mystery for another day.
You think it's a cover-up?
Add it to the list.
Oh,
What'd you say, Penelope?
we got a real big clue though.
What's that?
There's some people who've been given orders to the hospital. We don't know who they are, so I don't know who to rough up. But something about old King Midas and his circles. That's the name of their cabal.
Midas Circle.
Midas.
That's right.
Can I roll a cult, or is there or something else to see if I recognize that name or the organization?
Yeah, can I roll a know or a history?
I think a cult works to see if it is definitely, if it says any direct relation to a cult, a no history to see if this is like a, like a stonemasons, like a group that exists in every town.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Yeah, give me those
Well,
rolls.
no is one. History is a different one. So which one do you think is
I would
better?
say history, because no, what's your no score?
Way higher than history.
Yeah, but it doesn't ring a bell. So see if it has historical significance.
Okay.
I rolled a hard success on a cult.
Oh, well, there you go.
A
What do you
13
need me
under
for?
35.
And I rolled right on the line. Almost hard success, but not. Regular success. 24 under 45.
I'll say hard success on a cult. And we've talked about this, Matthew, off screen, of sort of Leo's history. Because that's what we do when we're hanging out. We don't talk about each other's lives. We talk about each other's characters in the 19 games that we play. And you had mentioned something based on that sort of flashback that we did last week, that like Leo and Albertine, how did you explain, like, they were involved in a few circles? Like, they were they had their thing with the theater, but they also had a little side life, right?
You get trotted out to parties at mansions and other fancy high-rise penthouses, that kind of thing, and you end up being present for some stuff you probably wish you hadn't seen. Mm-hmm. They've been around.
I'll say, going back to your time when you first ended up in Boston at the Colonial Theater for the last leg of your tour, that eventually led you to Crawley. After that, and your fall from grace, you had heard of the Midas Circle, but it is something directly related to Crawley, and was sort of a term that was thrown around that may have dealt with a couple of individuals that saw great success where others around them crumbled. So not really any new information, but it feels a little bit more than a rumor if you heard of it. Cavendish mentioned it as well.
I share this with the others, and I ask, maybe, do you all know of any people in town, rich people who were able to turn their fortunes for the better when the crash happened?
We all do. Little fella named Roscoe Malloy. You could go ask Tom. We could go ask Tom Dolan if you ever heard about Roscoe Malloy getting wrapped up with this Midas Circle, but I bet you he doesn't know anything.
He's
Because
probably
he said as much.
extremely drunk at this point, but we can definitely go ask.
He does start drinking at 11 a.m.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
who that reminds me of? Somebody who makes everybody else's life turn to ash around them. My ex-husband, Ned. Oh, he may not be rich, but the rich do get richer.
They
if
sure
you know
do.
what I mean.
No, I don't know any Richards.
Penelope and Preston are both perplexed by this statement as well.
I don't know. I thought you would know, Peachy.
I don't know, but
We
you know what?
everybody.
If we're talking about this, then maybe that bitch Rita Hayworth had something to do with this too.
Yeah, that's right. Now we're thinking with gas. Wait a minute.
Now we're thinking with gas.
Now we're thinking with gas.
You know, if anybody hungry, I'm really
You
good
drive
at
to
cooking.
Rita Hayworth's house and murder her in her sleep.
Finally, justice.
Do you know that she and Glenn Ford had houses next to each other so they could continue their affair way into their up to their deaths? I think up to his death or something. It's crazy.
I was thinking of possible side scenes and everything, and I was trying to think of Rita Hayworth, and I was like, this great idea of someone watching that scene of her in Gilda, where she whips her hair up, that famous scene. But that didn't happen until
Nailed it, Nora.
that didn't happen until 1947. I was like, I don't think she was even in pictures in 1932.
Diaper
Maria
commercials,
Cancino.
though.
This is a fantasy land.
No, but I think she did. She did have a mid 30s picture.
Yeah, no, I think she was coming up. But
Yeah.
Gilda, I think, is the one that everybody
Yeah.
knows. That was the one in Shawshank, right?
Yeah.
Oh!
Did you get to check up on Albertine?
How's Al doing?
Hal's gone.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I don't want to talk about it.
Penelope
Let's talk about it.
Penelope isn't wearing a hat, but out of respect, she takes off her ratty wig and holds it to her chest. I'm so sorry for your loss. Puts her ratty wig back on.
No, that thing wasn't attached. Anyway. Hey,
It looked
one
nice
more thing.
once.
It's hard times.
One more thing you ought to know. If one of these people turn to dust, starts to fall apart around you, watch out. It seems like leathery, yellow, gooey filled stuff is in their inside. And it seems like when somebody dies, they get whoever else is around.
Oh no, you think?
The doctor cut Albertine open and they got out. Do we
Coombs
know?
isn't looking so hot.
Yeah, Coombs is next. Do we know if all of those sacks ended up in Coombs, or are there some still around the camp?
I thought about looking around, but it seemed dangerous.
It's dark out. Only the light of 2 stolen vehicles and a couple campfires are,
We got a tailgate going.
Yeah,
Point
looks
the
like
headlights at each other.
it's like a
Get out the
tailgate.
bathtub hooch.
But when you say that, all of you start just looking around, not even knowing what you're looking for, because this is new information to Penelope and Preston. Just looking are there things crawling around the camp?
I start to feel really itchy.
Just start stomping in place with my big boots with holes in the toes.
Maybe we sleep in the car? Cars at this point? I don't know.
Did
I feel
anyone
like-
want to do my stakeout idea? see if these Midas touch fellas come back again tonight to the camp?
Yeah.
Could do that.
I'm not going to be able to sleep anyway. We might as well take a look, right?
How are we
Yeah.
going to stay awake?
Oh, we could always rebrew those old coffee grounds from Ida. They've only been brewed, 3-4 times today?
Oh, we're still good for like 2 more.
I think so.
It's when you get to the 5th time, you really find the nuance of flavor.
Yeah, that's just when it just tastes like an ashtray.
Throw in some chicory roots, and you're able to make a brew that will keep you up through the night.
Can I roll for cooking to see what it tastes like?
You know what? I think you should roll that. Can I get a cooking roll, Shirley?
Oh, that's a skill I have.
Oh my god, we should have you roll that cooking roll.
Okay, so you know how I really wanted to get the doctor to do surgery? Didn't work. But cooking, natural 3.
Oh, man. You are all shocked at how good this coffee tastes. It has a rich flavor to it, and you hear a couple of the campers remark, "The rich get richer." And night turns slowly to day. You're all bleary-eyed. Maybe there were a couple other Hooverville residents that joined you from time to time, hearing a little bit. I don't know how much you're telling people, or maybe if you're being cool, but people hanging around the campfire, that's their time to be a part of this community. So some people stayed, some people didn't. They eventually all peeled off. And then the jazz pianist.
And then the jazz band kicked up.
Wake up, everybody! No, you all find yourselves sitting there at 5:30, 6 a.m. as the sun rises, and you're bleary-eyed, 4 or 5 cups in of delicious, shockingly delicious coffee. But you realize you've spent the night awake, waiting for an event that did not happen. It was one of those things you were like, you kind of wanted it to happen, because then you thought, okay, well, now we can go to action. But the whole time you must have been thinking, like, what if it happens? What if we're not prepared? Faceless men? Ventriloquist dummies? What is going on? Now the children have been gone for over 24 hours. We've got a couple leads. What do you want to do?
I don't know. You think we go to the police? I mean, it's the kids. How are we supposed to solve this ourselves?
The doc told us to go to the coppers. I mean, he seems to be the only one with any information, so I trust him. He's a smarty.
Speaking of which, I meant to ask you, did the doc say anything about Priestley? About how he died or anything? I saw the notes in there, but, a doctor, sometimes they don't write things down.
He said he died like Albertine. He snuck him into the hospital against the wishes of the Midas Circle and tried to treat him, but he was too late.
Well, why was it against the wishes? Was it because he was from a Hooverville?
That's right.
But he must have known something.
Must have. Oh, maybe it was just that he was in a Hooverville. I mean, maybe that makes you a target. Maybe you're poor. Nobody cares about you anymore. You're meaningless in the world, and maybe they can experiment on you. Maybe they're trying out some sort of newfangled way to get rid of more people, so that the rich get richer. You know what they say.
If the rich get richer, and he crumbled, then we gotta look to who around him in his close circle got rich.
Yeah.
And then maybe he knows something.
Wonder if old Norm, what's his name, got rich. What's his name?
Who?
Norm Brunswick. That was it. Norm Brunswick. Wonder if he got rich out of this whole thing. His editor is his old boss.
Oh. Hey, any lead
If he made it big when he kicked the bucket, then we know.
Then we know, and we kill him.
I got one more question for all of you.
We run him over with 2 stolen cars.
Let's kill him. If people in the Hooverville are being targeted, and that's us, what are we doing differently? Is it the hooch we drink? Is it the coffee beans we grind? Not like we're grinding them from original beans, but you know what I mean.
You mean that we're not sick anymore? Or, that we're not sick, we don't... What makes us different? Well, I mean, I'm sorry. Most of the people aren't sick, right? Like, they don't die of this wasting disease. Not most of the people, but very few do.
It seems like almost everyone in camp has this wasting disease, a disease that people just sort of brushed off as like, oh, we're living in filth. Like, of course, there's some sort of plague. But seeing it get to the point where it has with Albertine makes people question like that. Dr. Coombs was a highly respected medical doctor, and it was beyond him. It's like, I never heard of anything like this. Looking at case studies left and right. You now know that someone was brought to Cavendish, and even Cavendish was stymied by it. So there's something else going on. And all of you are infected. The 4 of you feel sick. Maybe after hearing all this, you feel a little sicker. Like Leo is itching himself, and you don't know how much of that is like mental gymnastics and how much of it is an actual sickness.
Well, what did I miss from the, like, it was your guys' scene, and the doctor was, he didn't know any names, but he knew it was the Midas Circle. Like, well, who did he talk to? How did he get messages? Did he tell you? Did I miss that?
He said he got a letter.
Letters in writing
okay.
to the hospital staff.
Okay. I mean, that's what I'm thinking. Like, is there like a board of governors? Yeah. Like, is there surely like, also like, who are the rich people in town, and is there any correlation to who they like own?
Seems like they're all moving to the Cape.
Yeah. I mean, that was one really good lead.
Which of the rich people in town are not moving to the Cape, Troy? We'll go to their house.
Does everyone have a pen?
What about
Rich
the police?
Richardson.
What about the kids? What about instead of trying to solve this ourselves and letting these kids die, maybe we need to just tell the cops at least.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Kids.
I'm in. Let's take our 2 stolen cars and go to the cops.
You pull into the visitor
Can I do one
spaces.
thing? Quickly, could I want to like grab some sort of glass vial or something from the medical tent, and I want to grab a sample of whatever water the people in the camp are drinking. Okay. I don't have the ability to test it myself, but in case we find someone who can.
Okay. There are some water supplies. None of it is really great. Some of it is just like from freshwater streams that they bring back and try to boil out the impurities. But there is a sort of a community supply you can easily grab a vial of, plug it, and take it with you.
And I'm going to go get Dizzy, who I'm, going to feed and bring with me.
Okay. You go look for Dizzy.
Miss him terribly, so he gives him a big hug.
Yeah, so you've been sitting outside all night drinking coffee, and Dizzy would come every once in a while at your side and sit next to you, and then at a certain point Dizzy left because
Keep your eyes out, boy.
Dizzy's not used to staying up all night. And so you go to kind of grab him to take with you, and you walk to your tent, and Dizzy's not there. And you don't think much of it, but then you get this really sick feeling all of a sudden. You open up the tent, you don't see Dizzy.
Dizzy?
You start to like panic a little bit. You go around and you're looking, has anyone seen Dizzy? Dizzy. And then all of a sudden, he comes trotting up to you.
Oh, thank God.
Nuzzles your leg.
You gave me a scare.
And you just stand there looking out at the expanse beyond the camp. And then you go back to your friends. And you guys head into town in 2 stolen cars. Are you taking separate cars? Are we taking separate cars?
I think one car
take one car.
stolen is probably less conspicuous.
Yeah, we'll leave the other car for the camp in case there's an emergency.
You don't want to take 2 stolen cars over to a police station.
Yeah, it just doubles the odds.
Do you take the less stolen of the 2? How does it work?
Let's not take the Cadillac. Maybe that would be too conspicuous. Or maybe we take the other one.
Take the one you stole off the guy at the diner.
Kick some dirt onto it.
Smudge up the license plate.
Yeah, so instead of taking presumably one of the doctor's cars, you take the one that you stole earlier from outside the diner, probably from the man who was a little fresh with you, Penelope, and also rude to all four of you. You drive it in. I'm sure you're going to park a little ways away from the police station. And then you walk up to this freestanding gray stone building. It's 2 stories tall. It's located on Ashcroft Street in downtown Crawley. 4 of you walk in, and you see a desk sergeant sitting there. You can see his badge says Sergeant McCool. Pretty solidly built guy, early 40s. Short cropped gray hair and a thick neck. Looks like a lifelong cop. He also has this sour look on his face, like someone with perpetual indigestion. And he sees you approach, and like everyone else you've run into, this is not a new thing for you. It gives you the same kind of look. He kind of straightens up. He's like, folks, what seems to be the problem?
We're here on really important matters. Tell him, Cheryl.
2 kids missing from the camp. We want to file a report.
A dead dancer. The finest dancer.
I'm sorry, a dead 2 kids and a
She's
dead
not lost
dancer.
though. The dead dancer is just dead.
Yeah.
We know where she is.
I don't know if there's a report there.
Listen, folks, we haven't heard anything about missing kids or a dead dancer.
That's why you're here now. Write it down.
Okay, well, how long have the children been missing?
24 hours.
Yeah, unless they've been missing for 48 hours, it can't be reported as a crime. I'm very sorry, but if you wanna send someone back after 48 hours, maybe we'll take a report or something. But I'm sorry, I can't help you.
We got mothers crying their eyes out back home.
No, I imagine it's very, very difficult for for that. But we just there are rules in place here, and I can't do anything about it. It's got to be 48 hours. They're kids. They're probably out there. They're going to come back.
What I know with a 45 law, if that is true, like 100% true, and it's not just he's not fobbing us off because we're poor. Like that's the law.
What did you roll? Or you have a 45, and then roll it and see what you get.
50.
50. Yeah, I mean,
there's some luck.
There's no reason to think that's not true. You also think that maybe he could bend the rules.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. So I'll step up there and be like, listen, buddy. I didn't want to bring it up, but you're forcing my hand here. Preston Tippett, Lawrence Daily Eagle. I need to understand here what exactly your policies are with missing kids and exactly how I'm going to write this up if these kids are found dead and you did nothing after the first 24 hours to look for them. When we know these kids, we know where they live, we know that they don't run away. We're in a camp down the road here. Come on. Now, if you want to keep just let me write that badge number down here. If you want to keep that nice shiny badge you got there, you got to stay good not only with your bosses, but with the press as well, because people eat you alive. I'm telling you, they'll eat you alive. So you better listen to what I say here and give us a little information.
What'd you say your name was? What'd you say your name was?
Preston Tippett, Lawrence Daily Eagle.
Well, Mr. Tippett, you're a long way from Lawrence, Massachusetts. I don't know what missing children in Crawley, Mass, why that would be important to the Lawrence Daily, Eagle Tribune? What was it?
First of all, sir, how dare you? Secondly, Lawrence Daily Eagle covers the world.
I'm going to step up at this point. Seeing as this is getting heated, I'm going to step up and try to charm him and say, listen, what's the name on your buzzer say? Buzzer's a word, as on the list. What's the name on your buzzer?
McCool.
McCool. Listen, you look like a really swell fella and all. Do you have any kids?
As a matter of fact, I do. I do. I have two boys and a baby girl. She's about 10 weeks old.
Now imagine your sweet little baby girl goes missing. You think you'd want to wait 48 hours to go look for her?
Listen, I understand what you're saying, but I've got to follow orders. I'm not the chief. I'm the desk sergeant, and if we see something, I'm sure we can send a car by. But I can't help you. Let's see a charm roll from Penelope, and if you want to give me a persuade roll,
Persuade, yeah.
Yeah,
let me do persuade.
Preston, you can do that. But let me ask: Is Leo or Shirley want to get involved in this as well? Give everybody a chance because this could be a hard role. It's a cop.
Sergeant.
Yeah, the hand card Shirley can play. She's just got one card, and so she's only gonna use it if other methods fail.
Okay, so Shirley's kind of waiting in the back, the muscle of the group.
I wanted to use fast talk. Can I use fast talk as opposed to persuade?
Yeah, I think what you did was absolutely fast talk.
Okay, great.
It's a tough thing in these games. You always want to use your best skill, but I think that's what you did. Whereas clearly, Penelope,
I'm trying to deceive him. That's not
Penelope's
necessarily
right
persuading.
on the line of charm and persuade, so I would say either one of those. But Leo, do you want to do anything?
Yeah, talk to me about psychology. Is that something you can put to active use? Like, could I try to roll psychology to see what would be the best angle to come at him with, or if there's a way, if I could find a way to manipulate him, so we can talk to his superior or something like that.
Psychology really helped with Nancy Carver, obviously, when she was on the brink. Both you and Shirley, I think, rolled successful psychology to calm her down with your song and dance routine. In this case, what is your psychology skill?
40.
40. Go ahead and roll it. Tell me what you roll.
I rolled a 43, so I'm going to use luck to get to the 40.
Okay. Here's what I'll say. You feel like Penelope playing upon the fact that he's a father as well was a smart move. And so because of that success, I'm going to make Penelope only have to roll a regular success for results. Whereas Preston, I'm going to need a hard success.
All right.
Let's roll and see what happens.
You know what? It teaches how to do it the hard way. Success, but not hard.
Did you just have a bout of indigestion? Are you okay?
I
Got the wasting disease.
rolled an 81.
An 81.
81.
Man.
81.
So I
Now,
did not succeed.
you did not succeed. Now, there's a lot of things that can happen here. You can just be like, well, luck of the dice didn't work. You can also try to push the roll. But
Oh, right.
Yeah, I was just about to ask.
when you want to push these rolls for a re-roll, you got to tell me, what are you doing to press your luck, and understand that a failure could be bad news.
Not wanting to ever I'm still traumatized by Rita Hayworth outshining her, and still having those dreams of being a star and seeing her name in lights. Penelope will start crying and putting on a show, and oh, but mister, you can't let us, you can't turn us away. You gotta look for these kids.
So you're really like you turn on the waterworks and just trying to play on every sympathy
pounding
possible.
on the desk.
Leo turns to
Wigs
Preston and is
almost
like,
flying straight off.
Leo's like, she's very good.
She's incredible.
I'm sure
You should have seen her in the morgue.
on her ratty pearl necklace, a few fly off.
Ting, 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 ting. Preston grabs them and sells them immediately for food.
Oh, they were fake. They were fake to begin with.
They were fake.
You never got a chance to be the actress because Rita Hayworth stole your thunder, but you still have it in you.
I hate that.
My name could have been in lights.
This is your grand performance here, and so you really turn it on. And in the meta world of the game here, Preston, you know that you're pushing a much harder role because of Leo's success. All she needs is a regular success here. So get and roll.
So I get to roll again?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I needed a 50 or lower. I rolled a 52, so I'm going to spend those luck.
Oh man, the luck is burning away.
She's burned more luck than anybody.
I have.
I had a great failed
Consequence.
roll. Consequence. I'll tell you
Not
that
this
after
time,
break.
Troy. Not this time.
All right, so you put on the show, and like other cops and are starting to like, what the hell's going on out there? And the guy's like, all right, lower your voice. I can understand these kids mean a lot to you. He kind of looks around a little bit, and another officer comes out of a doorway and just starts walking behind him. He's got some paperwork in his hand. He waves to him. Guy waves, smiles. Sergeant McCool just watches him go. He kind of leans in and drops his voice a little bit, but he's trying not to be look different in the way he's talking to you. He's like, listen, I am under orders not to help anyone from your area. There's nothing I can do.
Orders from who?
I don't know why we're not allowed to. It seems very specific, but I think it has to do with a guy named Theodore Sedgwick. He's a, Hey, how are you? You just starting your shift? Yeah, no. No, I'm good. Just deal with some folks here. He's a veteran, I think. He keeps his face covered from an old war wound.
World War One.
I think he did some work at Miskatonic a while back too. I don't know. No one really knows what this guy does, but evidently he's done pretty well for himself since returning from the war. The thing is, how are ya? Every time he comes to visit the chief, these orders seem to follow immediately after, to ignore anything coming out of the Hooverville. This guy will come here, pay a visit to the chief. All of a sudden, we're going to have a meeting later that day. Always a topic of conversation. People come from the Hooverville. You don't get involved. These orders from up top. Now listen, I've always known the precinct ain't clean, and I don't know why. I don't know what's going on. But I do know people that ask too many questions have a habit of disappearing. Now listen, I'm putting myself at risk even telling you this, but I am a father. And if my little girl, one of my little boys went missing, I'd do whatever I could to get them back. Now, you listen to me. I don't know if what I'm telling you is connected at all, but I have a feeling this Sedgwick character has an unhealthy interest in your Hooverville.
Do you know where he lives?
No, I don't know anything about the guy except what I told you.
Do you know what he drives? What kind of car? Have you seen him drive in here or out of here?
No, I haven't. He's got a driver that drives him, but I never looked at the car. Nice car, I would assume. He's always dressed well.
Miskatonic? What's that?
Yeah, the university. I think he did something there. Maybe it had something to do with his time spent abroad. I don't really know. I just, this guy comes around, cops start talking. One guy's like, oh, I heard he used to be a professor. He worked there. Another guy says, no, he's a veteran. That's why he's got the covering on his face. War wound. I don't know, but you should...
Is that university? Isn't that one in Arkham?
Yeah. No, it's right up the, it's a little ways out of town, but yeah.
Preston looks at Leo. Yeah. I'll find him.
You should get the fuck out of here now. Okay.
Right.
Do you want us
Thanks
to
so
do
much, mister. Mum's the word.
right.
We won't say nothing.
Do you want? I used to be an actor. Do you want us to do a little scene to make it seem like you did what you were trying to throw us out, and we were making some trouble, and it makes you look like a hero?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Do you want to rough me up a little bit just to make it look like,
He loves people roughing him up.
No, I want to see what you come up with on your own.
Okay. All right. So I need to. All right.
Really? Yeah.
Leo, give me some direction. Leo, give me some direction. I don't know what. I can't just follow you. I can't just improv. You know this.
It's true. It's true. You're better with preparation. All right. Picture this. We're 4 people who are living in the Hooverville, investigating some missing children.
All right.
Right.
Are you with me so far? You with me?
I gotcha.
Starting to feel my motivation.
And we came in here, and the Sarge wouldn't tell us anything.
Oh, that's good. No, that's good.
And he told us to get out, and we made a little bit of a scene. And then he said, you get out of here. And then we left.
All right.
I shoved my arms into Leo and Preston and just said, "Hold me back! Hold me back!"
We start holding her back.
And McCool
And
is
I'll
like,
just be like, he's not worth it, Shirley. He's not worth it.
"Oh, rest you on the spot. Get on.
You couldn't have been less helpful if you tried. He yells awkwardly.
You told us nothing!
Get out of here. Get so ready for these 4 vagrants.
You're all in cahoots.
And you storm out of there and put on a huge scene, and all the cops are like, "What's going on?" He's like, "He's fucking vagrants from the Hooverville."
They're all high-fiving McCool.
Yeah, I showed him.
Screw those poor people.
And McCool turns towards the window.
At that, I want to cut in real quick because we're getting close to giveaway time. I just want to remind everybody, if you want to get a chance to get this starter kit for this game that we're playing for freezies, you just have to enter the link in our chat. We're going to drop it in chat right now. Follow that link, enter the giveaway. We're giving away 3 copies, courtesy of Chaosium, of the Call of Cthulhu starter set. You only get a physical copy if you're in the US. If you are elsewhere, you still enter the contest because we'll get you a digital copy if you get pulled. So don't worry about it. And thanks for watching, everybody. It's been awesome.
You might just have the best time of your life. Yeah. Like me right now.
Yeah, this is amazing.
The rich, as they say.
Get richer.
Get rich.
Yeah. I forgot the saying.
You've got some leads now here. You've really
This is like
cracked this
every
wide
30
open.
minutes of this game. It's like, it's got a bunch of new leads now. So where do you want to... I like the university lead. I like the Arkham. I think we go straight there and ask around about who this Theodore Sedgwick fella is.
Well, if
like it.
he lives in Crawley, so can we just like go to the library, look up his address, and go to his house?
The town hall probably has records. Or
Yeah.
the library.
Yeah.
I'd love to roll a little library use.
Ooh, I'm gonna get me some library use.
All right, so you go to the town hall. Is that what you want to head next?
Yeah, that sounds
All
good.
right. You head to the town hall, and you're getting the same reaction from the person there. It's kind of looking at you like,
Everywhere.
we can't just let anyone into the
The
records
public
here.
library.
I'll
You
handle
can't just
this.
let anyone into the public library now.
Well, I mean, and she looks at the way the 4 of you are dressed. No.
You afraid you're gonna catch poor?
Yeah, you ever see nobody down on their luck?
I know times are tough, but I'm sorry, I can't just let anyone in here.
I'm honestly surprised at you, ma'am. I would think somebody who would take a job in a respectable profession, such as a librarian, sharing knowledge with people, would be above acting like this.
And I want to
Please.
kind of push my way to the front. I assume she's sitting at a desk, and I want to lean way over her and look down at her and just growl.
Give me an intimidate.
Yes!
Come on, get
Give
it.
me a cooking roll.
Shirley.
15! We got it. Yeah. That's a hard success.
All right, listen. I don't want no trouble. I just go ahead. Just please don't make anything messy. Put things back where you find it. Don't
Do
touch
we look
everything.
like we leave things messy? And there's just mud tracks up to my boots.
You all smell of feces.
Yeah, we're all respectable people as I'm trying to straighten out my ratty wig and roadkill fur.
All right, so you're able to bully her into letting you in. And yeah, you've got the records there. So you want to do a library use roll to see if you find anything on this Crawley?
On to Sedgwick, yeah, and see if we can get maybe an address. I don't know if they just have an address in the library, but we shall see. Let's roll
We're
library
the town
use.
hall. They gotta have some records.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, town hall. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought it was literally the library. All right, here we go. Come on. Preston! 36 under 75 is a hard success. Yes, Barry.
Okay. What are you looking for specifically?
I am looking for. I'll roll an intelligence roll to see what I'm looking for.
Just tell me what Why don't you just tell me the name of the clue?
I want to know
I'm
what he
looking
taught
for-
at the university and where he lives.
Where he lives.
Yeah,
or
where he
his
lives,
business
Yeah.
is.
businesses he owns, any leases that have his name on them, land that has his name on it.
War records.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe he's not a veteran.
Discharge records. Trying to think of what else. Oh, that's all juicy
When his
stuff.
office hours
Social
are.
security, any ex-wives,
Yeah.
he pays his library bills.
Anything that says Midas on anything.
Yeah.
All right, hard success. You're really digging in here, and so you're all letting Preston do his thing while you're
I
watching.
think we all like sit down and he gives us things to busy us to sort of help
Yeah.
him out.
I like to put down like a huge stack of papers in front of Shirley. I'm like, look through this for an address. I put down a huge stack of it. Look for businesses, leases on land.
Boston.
Oh dear God.
I'll just look.
Can I keep a lookout to make sure nobody sketchy is following us?
Yeah, for sure.
Tracking us.
Ooh.
Give me a spot hidden. It's kind of a rolling spot hidden for you to keep an eye on.
I rolled a 33. Let's see what my okay. Not a hard success, and I don't know if I want to spend any more of my luck. But
It's a success. But
Yes,
you
it's a success.
might want to pressure. It's one of those things
Do
where
I?
you feel like if you want to spend your luck, you're probably going to
screw it.
catch
Let's
anything.
do this. We're gonna go all out. Let's hard success this.
All in.
Yeah,
All right,
all in,
so
all in, baby.
you feel confident that if something fishy pops up, you're going to see it.
All right.
It's giving Preston the confidence to really dig in. And Preston, you find yourself looking through a lot of old Crawley examiners.
Yeah.
You see Harold Priestley's name come up. You see Agatha Priestley's name come up, reporting on some Sox games. Priestley's articles are all generally concerned just like happenings in the town. There's going to be a bake sale, or the July 4th festival went off without a hitch. Pretty mundane stuff. But that's not what you're looking for. Just catches your eye. You don't see anything on the Midas circle. Nothing Midas or Midas related with your hard success. You do see an article about Sedgwick. His name comes up in an article in the Examiner from back in 1926. It's about 6 years ago. You don't see anything there. There's no mention about him being a war veteran or anything. And in your continual digging, you don't see any connection to him being in World War I. It isn't mentioned.
So there's no records of.
No records of that. But you do see his name crop up in this article, talking about a professor he was assisting at the Miskatonic University, a professor of physics by the name of Ashton Hawks.
Oh, such a good name.
And apparently this professor disappeared. And Theodore Sedgwick was his assistant at the time, seems like. He was questioned and ultimately unable to help the police trace him. That's all you see with regards to anything pertinent about Sedgwick. But if you look into records, you don't really get a sense of what businesses he owns. Like if he does own things, it's all private and not listed, or it's owned under maybe other names or his company's names, which is smart. People don't want a paper trail leading to them. With a hard success, I will give you an address that you do find associated to him.
Okay.
You see, it's a luxury apartment building on Chamberlain Boulevard, which is, if there was an upscale area of Crawley, it's the apartment buildings along Chamberlain Boulevard. Now, this guy is well-to-do. If he's fancy, he's probably not there all the time, but that is the one sort of place you found that's connected to him.
So he'll share this with everybody, and jeez, I think we got Miskatonic and we got Chamberlain. Oh no!
You want to check out Chamberlain and then drive to Miskatonic?
I don't know what else they could tell us at the university except this professor disappeared.
Right.
Seems strange.
We could look into what kind of work the professor was doing, maybe, or like what his area of study was.
I wonder why this guy would want to kill the professor he assisted. Anybody else jump in there? I'm pretty sure it's murder.
It does smell awfully fishy. But I think if there was any records as to what business he was up to when all this was happening, maybe it's at his house. I doubt it would be left at the school.
I think we should go to these apartments anyway. But does anybody have any idea of how maybe we can get some better digs than this? I mean, I'm sick and tired of everybody looking us up and down and me having to growl at people.
It's the only suit I got.
Well, I kind of like
where to
that
get
part.
another one.
But even if we did, we all really need to bathe too.
Yeah.
So good at stealing cars. You'd think we could steal some clothes.
With Leo's disguise, do you think would that give us some, like if I wanted to disguise myself as kind of a maintenance worker or superintendent or somebody who has to get upstairs to change the light bulbs or something, like would that help me find those disguise elements?
Yeah, I would say if you roll a successful disguise, depending on what your success is, you're able to scrape together the means to put on the best disguise you can. You roll an extreme success and no one's going to bat an eye at you. You roll a hard success, you probably look pretty good. A regular success, hope there aren't any very smart people who are like, wait a minute, that guy's not where he's supposed to be.
I rolled an 8.
Oh my God,
Was that an extreme success?
That is an extreme success.
You are so good at this game.
I don't even recognize you anymore, Leo.
You're so good at rolling an 8. What was your goal with this?
I want to look like somebody who works in the building, maintenance guy, handyman, and I want to kind of like make myself look like I work there. I'm a sub that's coming in, so I can just kind of slip in there, no questions asked, get up to the apartment, and then maybe let my friends in through the back door, and then
fire escape
situation maybe.
All right, so you guys are going to roll over to Chamberlain Boulevard, and Leo, you're going to solo up to the building dressed as a maintenance man?
Yeah, or maybe is there a back door? I don't know. We'll have to case the joint a little bit, but I don't want to walk. I don't want to deal with the doorman if I can avoid that.
Okay.
Maybe I have I get a ladder and I just kind of be like, "How you doing?" and I walk by.
Okay. All right, you head over to Chamberlain Boulevard. You see just beautiful building after beautiful building after beautiful building. Such a stark contrast to your normal lives in cardboard shacks and tents. You see there is a doorman. A couple of really nice cars parked outside.
Leo, what if me and Peachy and Preston, we go up to the doorman to to sort of distract him so that your costume in the corner of his eye is nothing.
Leo is doing his makeup. That sounds like a great plan.
Old
Great
age
plan.
makeup.
Yeah.
We're
Give us a
collecting
extra pieces.
donations for the Hooverville, right?
Yeah,
There you go.
That's good.
There you go.
Yeah, I like it.
And I'll just grab. Maybe I'll grab if I can grab a ladder off the street if there's a ladder, and I just kind of like walk by as they're distracting them.
Give me a luck roll. Is there a ladder just laying around?
Is higher or lower better? I can never remember.
Lower.
Lower.
41.
That's a fail.
The big old fail.
You said lower is better.
Yeah, lower than 20.
Oh.
Right?
Oh, I was
you-
thinking.
He was thinking 50-50.
I was thinking
yeah.
50-50.
Yeah, look around, and surprisingly, there is no
ladders?
wooden ladder laying around in this upscale area on the street.
All right, we'll just have to burn the apartment building down.
Yep, there we go.
Ooh.
You set fire to the building, and Theodore Cedric comes running out. My building, my beautiful building. End of scenario.
Can we see?
Seriously, Leo shoots him with his one bullet. Guys, thank you so much for playing Call of Cthulhu. It's been a wonderful game.
See you next week.
All
Can
right,
we
so
at
then I'll
least
just.
see?
Yeah, go sorry.
Looking towards where we're assuming his apartment is. Do we see any lights on? Does it look like anyone's home?
Yeah, so you look at maybe up the penthouse.
Yeah, any
It's
lights on?
late afternoon. If he's up there, doesn't look like any lights around. You
Looks
walk
like
up to
coast
the
is clear.
building. Are you going to do your whole bait and switch, try and distract the doorman, trying to collect for the Hooverville?
Collecting, yeah.
All right, so you guys come up, and what do you see? There's a doorman. Folks, I'm sorry, you can't be in here. You can't be in here right now.
No, buddy. We're not going to go in. We're not going to bother you fancy guests or anything. We just are looking for donations for the Hooverville. If there's anything you could do, and he pulls his hat off.
No,
Come on, please.
as
It's
you
a
can see,
legal-
the sign-
Anything you got?
No solicitation, please.
Just
don't
a
make me call.
coin or a crust of bread even.
Yeah,
Anything you
have a
got.
heart, fella.
I'm very sorry you're in the wrong area of town to be doing this, and I do apologize. And Leo, are you going to try and just wave and sneak by?
Yeah, what do you want to stealth?
Yeah, the
or do
guy's
you
like, he's talking to them. It's like, folks, I'm sorry. Excuse me, sir. Who are you? And what do you say?
It was disguise, wasn't it? Didn't we already do it?
Yeah, but he doesn't recognize this maintenance man. Excuse me,
He knows
sir.
all the maintenance men?
Who are you?
It's Benny. Benny Drummond.
Benny.
I'm the sub for Lou. When Lou's
Lou?
out, I come in. Leo has great accent work, much better than me.
All right. You've got a great disguise that the guy isn't kicking you out immediately. What kind of role do you want to do to trick him?
Fast talk?
Or persuade. Okay.
I would say you could do persuade. Because your disguise is so good, all I need is a regular success.
Okay, that's good because my persuade is only so-so. Better than my fast talk.
Oh, no.
Burn all your luck. Lou, what are you talking about, Lou?
Lou, the guy who comes in and does your sconces. Have you seen the condition of the sconces on the 13th floor?
What'd you roll?
17.
There's 10 floors on the building.
9th floor?
No buildings have a 13th floor, too. It's bad luck. Yeah. All right. Go ahead. Folks,
When he
I'm
says
sorry,
that,
you guys got to get out of here.
Hold
Sorry.
on though, but maybe you want to come to my underground boxing fight, sir, huh?
That sounds very sexy, but I can't have you here right now.
But when he says sconces, I said, "Oh man, I can really go for a blueberry sconces. Have you ever had one of those? They are delicious. We don't get
three
to
of
have
you.
those on account of we live in a Hooverville. But if you make donations, maybe Shirley here could cook us up some sconces."
Oh, God. The three of you have to go. I'm sorry. Please, don't make me call the police.
Can I just use the restroom? Can I just use the restroom?
No, absolutely not. No. And
You
he's
do.
just
You
like,
either let him or he's gonna go right here.
I'm sorry.
I don't think
And
any of us want that.
I gotta go.
he comes around and ushers you out. Meanwhile, Leo's already up the stairs without a ladder.
Well done, Leo. Oh, I hope you don't die in there. You're not immediately killed.
Is there some sort
Cedric.
When we drove around the building, was there some sort of back door? Did we see any kind of other side door that I might be able to open
There's
and let them
nothing
in?
visible from the street. Yeah, all the
we'll
buildings are
keep
right next
looking
to each
around the building to
Yeah.
see any sign of Leo in a window or Leo in a, we'll all keep taking turns looking around.
other. Yeah, Leo, you're in. You walk to where you think the back is. You're getting a little turned around. Really looks like you can just go up.
All right. I'll go up and maybe I'll signal to them from the window and there's a fire escape maybe.
So yeah, the guy's pushing you outside, and he's like, "I'm sorry," and he pushes you out. And he comes back in. You guys walk out to the street towards your car, and you look up. You just see Leo in the second floor window. And Leo, you keep winding up. Where are you going? You going to the penthouse, assuming that's where he is? Are you looking at what are you doing?
Did we have an apartment number?
No.
All right, I'll go to the penthouse and we'll start there.
Go to the penthouse, and there's a name on the door. It just says T.S.
Okay.
It's a really good lead.
Really good indication. I knock on the door.
A woman answers, "I'm Tanya Shelley, and I just got out of the shower."
Oh, I'm sorry.
How dare you?
How dare you?
It's a lot of information to get for someone who very mysteriously only has initials on their door.
I'm Tanya Shelley.
You brute! But you saw T.S. and thought you could just walk right in.
I'm sorry.
So what do you do?
I knock on the door.
Stupid. Dunk, 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 dunk. You knock on the door. There's a pause, but then you hear motion on the other side. A couple locks unclick. 3, maybe 4. And the door opens, and a man is standing there. He is tall, maybe like a little older than you, but he's got an older looking face. He looks older than he is. His hair is slicked back, and he's dressed very well. May I help you?
I haven't thought this far in advance.
May
I'm sorry,
I
sir.
help you?
I didn't think I'd get this far.
I think I get this far.
I thought I would die before I made it here.
I'm sorry, sir. There's a gas leak in the building. We think I need to check out your kitchen right away. Could be very dangerous.
I didn't smell any gas.
This is an odorless gas. Don't you? That's what makes it the most dangerous gas leak of all.
Roll a persuade.
This is an odorless gas.
The most dangerous gas. Okay, I rolled a 26. That's a regular success. I'm gonna spend a bunch of luck. Yeah, I'll spend. Oh no, gosh.
Can I ask something while you think about this, Matthew?
Yes.
Can I ask something about this game? Is it supposed to be like most of the time you need hard successes? Or is it like almost all the time you need regular successes? Rarely you need hard successes, and once or twice a session you need extreme successes. Like, do they give you a ratio at all, or? Because I feel like we've
it's the
needed a
latter.
lot of hard successes.
Well, you've also I think you've psyched yourself out into thinking you need hard successes
Yeah,
too.
I'm freaking out, man.
Yeah, you're all like, I'll spend 20 luck. Give me the hard success. You made a regular success. You have a perfect uniform. There's no reason to think you need to burn it. But maybe if you do, you'll get better results.
All right. Fuck it. I'm gonna burn 11 points of luck to make this a hard success.
That's so much. You
I can
already
do that, right?
succeeded.
Yeah, you can. You can. Just until your luck runs out. And the man's like,
Leo's living on the edge. He's got nothing left to lose.
he rolls his eyes. You'll have to be quick. The master of the house is not at home. The kitchen is right this way. Follow me. What did you say your name was?
Ben Drummond.
Ben Drummond.
I work with Lou.
Yes, I haven't seen you before. I don't know a Lou.
Well,
Anyhow,
Lou works with Tommy.
I know a Tommy.
Yeah.
I'll speak to him. I'll speak to him about this Lou character.
Yeah, Lou's a great guy.
Anyways, here's the kitchen. I don't smell anything. You said it was odorless. Please be quick about this.
Yeah.
And he walks you through, and it's a beautiful apartment. You see artwork, sculptures, just like unnecessary rich collector stuff.
And does he leave me alone, or is he watching me?
Oh, he's hovering over you the whole time.
Yeah. And I make a show of opening the oven, like, fancy place you got here. What's your boss? What does he do for a living?
I don't see why that's important.
Just making conversation.
No, I understand, but please hurry. We
Well,
not supposed to have people here.
You got somewhere to be. You got some party happening. We hosting some event here.
Sir, please.
A circle of people, perhaps.
Sort of a cult ritual, perhaps.
The rich get richer. Does that mean anything to you, sir?
It's the code word to get in. Yeah.
Wink, wink.
The special handshake.
No, sir. It's just we don't have guests here.
Listen, I might need some help. You got anybody else here that can help me? This looks. He's looking in the oven. Like this looks terrible. You got anything here that could help me? Somebody could help me figure this out. I need some more hands.
No, I'm the only one here right now, sir. And this is not my area of expertise.
Perfect.
If this is,
and I'm gonna grab something heavy off the counter and hit him over the head with it.
Oh!
Yes!
Wow! Wow. I'm gonna say he doesn't see that coming. So
I'm gonna need a hard success.
I'm gonna need extreme. No, I'm gonna say this is a surprise attack because this happened very, very fast. So rather than establish the order of attack with Dex order, I want to see if you hit this guy. So roll. What is this? Would it be brawl? Or
Brawling.
Yeah, brawling. So you grab like a knife block.
Yeah.
And just swing it out at him.
Perfect.
Give him the old clam bake.
Give him the old clam bake.
Leo is on is
That's a wild swing.
okay. It was a 50-50 chance. I have a 50 brawl. And I rolled a 4.
Oh my goodness.
That's extreme.
That is
Extreme, dude.
extreme. I see the 4. It just turned, but I saw
Just
it.
turned.
So he turns away for a second. Sir, I think this is highly, and then just boom, you crack him with this knife block, and he crumbles to the floor. And as he crumbles to the floor, a revolver falls out of his back pocket.
Tink, 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 tink.
And he's just lying on the floor, and you see a pool of blood start to form
Oh my
around his
god,
head.
dude. I'm so glad you did this.
What do you do?
Is he dead? Is he alive?
He looks like he's still breathing. It's labored, but he is unconscious. The pool is expanding. You have snuck into a luxury building, posed as a maintenance man, got into one lead's apartment, and struck his manservant with a knife block, possibly killing him.
I'm throwing pebbles at the window.
Yeah. Can I go to the window and see if I can like wait? Is there a fire escape or something? Is there any other way they can get up here besides the front door? Is there is like a garbage service stairwell or something I could open up?
You walk over, you're looking at all the windows really quickly. You drop the knife block to the floor, and you're looking out, and you finally in the living room, you see out at the car, and you look down at the fire escape, and it ends before this, before the second floor. Otherwise, somebody could just break right in. You're alone.
All right. I'm going to tie the guy up. I'm going to grab like a
Sorry,
dish
point of
towel.
order. Point of order. Those end at the second floor so people can't break in. But if you come from the top, you can release a ladder to the street. That's how they work.
You sure could.
So if you get out, come down, release the ladder, it's an option.
All right, first things first.
I'm asking if that's an option.
Give me one second. I go tie up the guy.
Okay.
Thumbs up.
Can I roll a first aid to make sure he's not dead? I don't want to be charged with murder.
Yeah, roll first aid.
90.
90.
Yeah, that's not a success.
You think he's going to die any second?
Grab his gun.
As you're moving him,
Oh,
as
yeah,
you're
I take the gun. That goes without saying.
and hit him with it. You're like
We just see Leo's blood spatter on his face.
Wake up!
One of those horribly violent, like Scorsese scenes.
You try to move him or like take his pulse to see if it's okay. He's okay, and as you do, you hear like a weird crack, and his head turns over, and you see a wide open gash on the side of his head. Roll a sanity check.
Oh my gosh, Leo!
What have you done?
42 over 39.
Juicy.
You lose 5 points of sanity. Roll an intelligence check, and remember, you want to fail this roll. If you succeed, you understand the full brunt of what has happened.
Oh no!
87.
Oh, perfect.
That's a fail. I mean,
Yes.
yeah, that's what you want. So you're just like, and you come to, and you're able to stable yourself. You don't go temporarily insane.
You still take the points, though, right? You just don't.
Still take the 5 points, yeah.
All right. Now, so then, yeah, I will,
Guy's
once
just
I know that
gushing
he's,
blood.
I try to like staunch the blood a little bit, and then if I
It's
decide,
getting all over your hands.
oh God. All right. And then I open the window, climb out into the fire escape, and go like stealthily climb down and extend the ladder for my friends.
Okay. Sorry, I need a stealth roll.
Oh,
Jesus.
It's right on Main Street, right on Chamberlain Boulevard.
God. Keep her ruining everything.
Fail. 49 over 40.
Okay, you get down
Spend
there.
the luck.
Tung, 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 the lounge. Yeah, spend all your luck. Spend 20 points of luck. It clangs down to the ground, and you're like, fuck. But you guys see it. Do you climb up?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Preston
heck yes.
jumps on.
As fast as we can.
Climb up the ladder. And the four of you are in Theodore Sedgwick's apartment. What do you do?
Do we see
What
the
did
bloody
you do,
guy?
Leo?
You guys walk in and see a body lying on the floor in an enormous
God.
pool of blood. Leo's
happened?
arms all the way up to the elbows covered in blood.
Go wash yourself. Can I try and perform first aid on this guy?
Yeah.
I found him that way.
We gotta stop the bleeding. I have a hard success.
Hard
First
success.
aid.
All right,
Yeah,
so
Jeez, I just rip some fabric off the curtains and start wrapping it around his head very
and
tightly.
you see the blood is like coming out at the rate of a pulse. It just spurt, and you wrap it tight, and the curtain is getting really red, but it seems to have staunched the bleeding for now.
I just raid the fridge as this is happening.
Yeah, we just start like eating all the bread, everything, and drinking milk. Just the
Do you
glass
have
of
any
milk.
raw potatoes? I love raw potatoes.
Good for the legs.
Leo is also going to lock the front door, and can I try to like move? Can maybe he gets Preston to help him move a dresser in front of it just in case someone tries to bust in here.
He'll just nod to Shirley. You're like, she can help you.
I
push it with
figured this
one
was happening while
finger.
Shirley was saving the guy's life.
Spins it on her hand and throws it at the door. All right, so you're barring yourselves in the apartment with the dying victim, and you lock the door. Now what? Peachy's raiding the fridge.
After guzzling down a glass bottle of milk,
Yeah.
Preston is going to just start like just searching frantically through the apartment for
Yeah, I want to see if it's
paperwork.
like,
He's
does
looking
he
for
have an
paperwork.
office?
There is an office off of the bedroom. It's small. Again, you can tell like this is probably not this guy's main place of where he lives. But if he has serious money,
He has a computer here at least, right?
there is a laptop.
Before we
So
move on,
Preston will hack into the laptop.
It's
did
an older
Preston
model,
chug
but
a
it checks out.
baby? That's what I need to know.
Yeah.
Did you chug a cold glass of baby?
There's plenty of more baby in there. Help yourselves.
Maybe you say.
Why was
We're
that
talking
a
about
thing?
this pre-stream. I think we were talking about this pre-stream that baby is synonymous for milk. So
It's in
we're
the
really
list
enjoying that.
of slang.
The glass of milk is a baby. A baby. Why?
All right, give me some
I don't know
spot
if we can
hidden.
trust the list. Ooh, I would like to
Spot
after
hidden.
it.
All right, here we
Yeah,
go.
I'll roll.
Come on, Preston. Come on, buddy.
89 for Leo.
89 for Leo.
Over 40.
Can I?
Just double-
go ahead.
Just double checking that wasn't a critical fumble at 97, and it's not because I have a 65 in spot hidden.
Ooh. Okay.
Can I do a spot hidden since I'm
Yeah.
looking through his? Okay.
Yeah. What are you gonna find in the fridge?
Oh no, I was looking for his through his
Yeah, I know,
office. I found everything I wanted in the fridge. I rolled a 29, so I did get a hard success.
I also peeked around the living room and found nothing.
Okay. You're looking around, Peachy, while the rest are kind of floundering about. The door is barred.
I can't find anything.
Oh my!
You find a couple things that jump out at you. You find a couple letters back and forth to some men. One name jumps out at you right away, Roscoe Malloy.
Oh, that's
Another name jumps out at you that's just you haven't heard, but it seems like there's a lot of correspondence between the three of them. Casper Brink.
good name. There's a lot of good names in this thing.
Then you hear or you read some more correspondence. It seems like the three of them were working together on something and they were in need of some more muscle. And so they brought on someone named Alex Rossetti, it seems like. While Peachy is looking, Shirley, you're in the living room looking around.
I caught a mirror and I just start flexing in it.
You haven't seen a mirror this nice in a long time, and you're doing your Schwarzenegger.
How did I
flexing.
maintain this tone with such a inconsistent diet?
But you look out the window, and you see a cop car pull right behind your stolen vehicle.
Chase it, the cops!
Cop gets out. Cop gets out. He looks at the plate. You see him go back to the car, and he's on his radio. And then he kind of looks over at the fire escape. Notices the ladders down on the ground.
Oh, come on.
He goes back to the car. Meanwhile, Penelope keeps looking, finds more correspondence between these men, sees reference to the Midas Circle. Then she stumbles upon what look like love letters. Love letters dated from like 10 years ago. Love letters from Theodore Sedgwick to a woman named Albertine Ricks. Signed, Love, your teddy bear.
What?
To be continued.
It all comes around and connects.
Tied in a neat little bow.
Oh, man.
The way to
Cause The rich get richer.
The rich get richer.
That's what they say.
The ricks get rixer.
Oh.
She's dead, Troy.
She's dead.
Let the dead sleep. Thank you,
We should go
everybody.
back to camp and check on her.
Thank you, Becca. Thank you, Dora. Thank you, everybody. We
My
will
pleasure.
be back with more Call of Cthulhu soon. Best game ever.
Thank you, guys. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Congrats on the winning.
Like they're leaving on a steamship.
Bye. Safe travels.